Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and friends of the Rooster. Welcome back to my gaming channel. I'm Rico, and here's the introduction episode for a new Let's Play series. This is Let's Play Big Scale Racing, which is a racing game based on remote controlled big scale models on 1 to 5 models. Um, well, fifth, 5 to 1. Well, you got the picture. Actually, small cars, but relatively big scale. And this game was developed by Bumblebeast from the Netherlands and was released in 2002. It got a successful run in Europe where actual big scale racing is quite strong. Got a few localized versions. Eventually, I ended up buying a re-release of the Italian version, but eventually managed to get my hands on an English version for your entertainment. To be honest, it just changes the text from one language to another. It is sadly an abandonware game, so it's not currently being sold on any digital store. If you're interested, you can look for the usual second-hand markets for physical copies. Last time I checked, if you get them from the US, you might eventually get an English copy. German copies and Italian copies are quite abundant here in Europe as well. This is a racing game, all right, and it's kinda new for my channel. I don't generally play racing games, but this one is simple enough that I can enjoy it. Okay, it obviously there's nothing about car setting and stuff like that. You just drive your small car. You can play it as you would actually control one of these big scale models from a stand. So you get bird's eye view of the track, okay, and you have to control the car in an awkward way. Or as I like to play it, as a third person racing game. You can change the camera angle. You can even play first person if you want, but I usually play it as a third person racing game, and I quite enjoy it. There are different classes, so different type of cars. There are 10 altogether. 10 standard plus some special ones that you unlock, which are not exactly real. They are realistic in the way that, for instance, the starter class features four-wheel drive cars with very very soft tires and weak engines. Okay, so they are easier to drive. Okay, and basically, you going through all 10 of these classes, you reach the last one, which is a fairly faithful rendition of the real thing. So those cars, those models behave uh, very closely to the real things. So for instance, they drift easily. If you brake while steering, inertia will get you drifting and stuff like that. The tracks are actual tracks. They do exist, or at least 20 years ago they existed in the Netherlands. um, they are of various degrees of difficulty. Also, one thing to mention is the AI. Basically, every cup you run in cups. Okay, there are 6 tracks, so 6 races. Okay, and there are 24 drivers, let's call them, taking part in these cups, but they race in batteries of 8. So the point system is quite weird. Okay, so for instance, after the first race, you probably end up with 3 cars tied for first place with 10 points. Okay, and the AI is of increasing difficulty, so you actually find some AI drivers who are very good. Probably you won't find them at the beginning of the cup, but once you get in the top tier battery, you'll face them. Things get more entertaining. So yeah, my plan for this series is to show with in every video an entire cup. Races are about 3 minutes long, and there are 6 of them, so they usually last 25-30 minutes. Okay. I used to be fairly good with this and played it many hours. However, that was 20 years ago. So I remember the the top tier classes being very hard to drive. And not only that, the AI at times seems more focused on bumping you out of the track instead of just doing their own race. So it is quite rage inducing. You know me, I really lose my wits, but it might happen. So I think that's all for now, and I told you everything I could. Oh yes, I'm going to play using a controller. I don't have a joystick or steering wheel or stuff like that. I'm playing using the Xbox controller. And I used to have a special controller back in the day with a strange mechanism that would tighten the the movement of the analog stick, of the left analog stick. So basically you could limit the run to 50%, 75%. So physically there was just a ring that would close on it. Okay, it's hard to describe. It would be difficult for me to describe how it works in Italian, so in English it's nearly impossible. I'm using an Xbox controller Elite 2, and I managed to tinker with the settings so that it's not as sensitive in the first half of the run, because especially on higher difficulties, on higher classes, okay, if you oversteer by accident, you end up spinning, tail spin or drifting. So I tried to compromise as best as I could, and that's it. So I think that's going to be all for now. I'll see you with the first video. PS postscriptum. Unfortunately, the play-by-play commentary of the videos got lost. I didn't tune the settings, the audio settings right. So I'm re-recording a voiceover, which is not going to be as dramatic and fun as the original one, probably. That will have to do, though. Probably be more easy to be easier for me to explain what's going on, since I'm not actually playing the game and doing the play-by-play commentary at the same time. But yeah, you win some and you lose some. So that's going to be all for now. I'll see you with the first video. Until then, take care and goodbye.